Hello, I'm Simulator Dirk and welcome back to Simulator Dirk Train Simulator. We're in Japan today. We're on the Tadami line. Today in this spring afternoon you will drive train 427D to Anzi Banj. Hope you'll enjoy the cherry blossoms and scenery from city to open field. Please stop at all stations and pick up passengers. So we'll go into our cabin, which is here. We'll open up the doors. We'll have a look at our train. Whoops. Hopefully we'll look at our train. It's a very short train. 2 carriages. It's a diesel multiple unit. Passenger interior view. Our train's there somewhere. So we're just waiting for our passengers to load and our very loud chirpy birds. Now what we should do, for some reason it hasn't given us our full driver's display, which we have now, because we're certainly going to need it. Okay, we go in drive, we reverser into forward, just waiting for the signal for the train to go. Brakes off, little bit of horn, and we are off and running. So this is a relatively new DLC, downloadable content, that I managed to pick up at a bit of a discount. Those birds are very loud. So we're in a 30 kilometre an hour zone, so we'll pick up the power. So our next station is just over a kilometre's time, so we're picking up speed nicely. We're in a diesel multiple unit. Of course, when a lot of people think about Japan, they think of lots of crowds and busy railways and the Shinkansen, the bullet trains, and that sort of thing. And, you know, the old stereotype of having people pushing other people into the train so they can all fit and leave on time. But there's a lot of railways outside of the major cities that are small diesel networks such as this. That do provide a major service for their local communities. So single line section. So for the moment we don't have signals to worry about. We do have our first station coming up. Is that it? No, it's a level crossing. Should have our first station coming into view. There it is. And here we go, coming in nicely. And we'll open the doors and we'll see if we can get a decent look of our train. Here we are. It's not letting me put the lights on for some reason. But here's a look at our train. Small basic platform. Doors are closing. We'll go back into the cab. Brakes off. Power on. We've got a level crossing immediately afterwards. And I now know, driving diesel trains like this, that they do take a little bit of time to get up to speed. But once they get up to speed, they can go pretty good. So our next station's in about 2 kilometres, so we'll enjoy some of the outdoor scenery. What I might do just for this section is just drive without the HUD for a second. This is a train you really need to drive with the full HUD. So it's back to Train Simulator World. Been busy getting used to the new trains that I'm driving in the real world. Having undergone a lot of training recently, so didn't necessarily want to come back and drive simulator trains. There's been a lot of action though happening across Simulated Earth for you to enjoy. So some nice scenery. I have had some Japanese trains on. Whoa, we've actually got up to 67 miles an hour, so we need to back off there. 60 kilometre an hour zone. Lots of little level crossings on networks such as this. Even in some areas of Japan where the networks are really busy, there's still lots of little level crossings around the place. And as I was saying before, a lot of people think about the busier Japanese networks as we're going to arrive at the station in a moment. I don't know how to prevent that at this stage. I do need to go drive quality. I've never seen that come up before. Oh, hang on. I need to reset that before I can do anything else. I need to go up a bit further so I can actually pick up my passengers. Oh, not again. Now, it's because we're coming up to this stop signal. This is our 2 carriage marker. So we need to wait for the signal. There's our train, and so we could be waiting for another train to arrive before we can depart. which sounds like it's arriving right now. There it is. So that train has arrived. We now have the signal to depart as that train's arrived. Back in the cab now. Just awaiting the... Just awaiting our departure time. Now, I have noticed on Train Simulator, we have had a couple of episodes before, back in the archives. What would be really cool, but I don't see happening anytime soon, is to be able to drive a longer distance train in Japan, or one that's a lot busier. Although, having said that, that also means that it's harder. In terms of having a busier system. A lot of the packs that have been released for Japan, I think there's only been about 3 or 4. Now continue your journey. After Nishiwasamu, only manual junctions are installed. You need to change the track manually. Okay, so let's get in the cab. It's time to go. Brakes off, some horn, and off we go. Okay, so after this station, there's only manual points apparently. Now, I don't think I've had to manually change points in Train Simulator before. Now, our next station is in 3 kilometres time. I do really love going to Japan. I haven't explored of it as much as I want to. I've been there for 2 weeks in total. On 1 week on one trip and one on another trip, and that was only barely scratching the surface of Japanese life and that sort of stuff. But I absolutely loved it. Had a great time. And would love to be able to go back. But that's not going to be happening anytime soon, so this for the moment is the best that I can get. So we'll just roll for a moment. So 2 notch or power notch 2 is probably really all we need at the moment. So as I was saying, there's a lot of, in the 3 or 4 packs for Japan that have been released, a lot of them are these more remote places, which gives you a very different perspective on things. I will admit, driving these trains is cool, and if I see a Japanese pack, I'll want to get it, because hopefully that'll encourage some more. Must really have a look in the starting to lose a bit of speed, so we're going up a hill. really must have a look to see if there's any more that you can download somewhere else. But actually within Steam, there's not many at this stage. Oh, that's cool. Now I should get back in the cab because there's a station coming up shortly, but that's a cool bridge to go over. So our station's in about half a k. So we'll horn the level crossing, and we should be starting to see the station shortly. One thing with the smaller stations is that they can be, especially if you don't know what you're looking for, can be very hard to see because they can blend in with the surrounding landscape. So we'll just crawl in now. Ah, there's our 2-car marker. Hang on. Hang on, folks. We've got to go to the correct. Here we go. So that's exactly where we are. I know my Japanese is substandard, so that's exactly where we are. And down the bottom, Nishi Wakamatsu is the station we were at, and Izuye Takada is the next station. So there's our train at the station. So doors are closing. Oh, we're on time. Okay, brakes off. Brakes will take a little bit of time to come off so we can power. And we're off. And the funny thing is, now that I actually do drive trains like this, not Japanese trains obviously, I am driving it more the way that I would in real life. Which is interesting. So 5 kilometres or 4.5 kilometres before our next station. Our speed limit is still 60, so not high speed by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll bring back the power. So we won't totally kill the power. Whoops. We'll stay at about 2 notch, and that should, in theory, keep us about the 60, although it is increasing the speed. So, oh, that was a bit of a bump. So just enough power that we're not necessarily reducing speed, so we are coasting. It is fairly level. Oh wow, that's cool. Oh no, we're speeding again. It looks like we're crawling. Actually, what we might do... So we're just taking advantage of running through the countryside with a little bit of time in between stops. I know there was the station. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. And we need to stop. We need to go back. Oh no, that wasn't good. I wasn't paying attention. So what we're going to do now, I'll try this. Go into reverse. Brakes off. We've got our conductor down the back guiding us back. Now we're in a single line section, so we're the only train here. See, I was too busy trying to capture images for the new look introduction for Simulated Erg, and that happened. Now, a lot of the time you just have to keep on going to the next station, but because it's only a single track, it's a small isolated service, it's a small isolated station, you may be able to go back to the previous station, and that's exactly what we're doing. And that was simply because I wasn't paying attention, because I wasn't in the cab. So our conductor down the back would be telling us how far we are away from the station. I didn't think we were that close to the station actually, but alright, so we're at the station. We'll open the doors. We'll make sure that we change back to forward. And there goes our on-time bonus. But the people of Tadeka will be very happy that I've come back, and there's a couple of passengers there, so I'll just let them get on. Wait for the doors to close, get back in the cab, and continue on our merry way. There seems to be certainly a lot of people on the train, or getting on the train at least. Oh, you two, come on. I've picked up way more people than I would have if I had have already stopped here on time. They just seem to be coming from everywhere. Did he make it? Yes, he did. Let's get back in the cab. Little bit of horn. Brakes off. The brakes will start to come off. So 4 kilometres away, let's pick up the speed. Our speed limit is still 60. And let's go. And we haven't come to any points that we have to manually adjust yet. I think it was about here where we got to by the time we actually stopped the train and decided that we needed to go back to the previous station. It looks like they've made the track swerve to avoid that tree. That tree there. Hang on, what camera am I on? Need that one. That's the camera I need. This would be an awesome line to drive in real life because you've got scenery, you haven't got many trains, it's not necessarily high speed. Because they are tracks that are built to a lighter standard. They're not high speed tracks and they're not meant to be. Gotta say, the diesel noise is actually pretty good. Yeah, our station's coming up in about half a kilometre. That should be it, just starting to come into view. So we'll just roll in. So we'll just roll in very slowly. So easy with these shorter platforms to come in too hot and then just come out right at the other end. Because you haven't got a lot of platform to play with. And So that's the back end view. A little bit of room to play with at either end, but very small, very basic platform. Timeliness penalty, no surprises there. So we'll have a look around at the cabin. Okay, so the handle on the right is the train brake handle. That's the regulators. That one doesn't... Oh, that's the gear lever. ATS confirm. Emergency brake. We won't want to be pushing that. So the cab looks very detailed. Not exactly sure what half of these things are, obviously. Looks like a train radio system or something. Our next station is coming up, and we were speeding and we still are. So now we're going up the hill. Station's just at the top of the hill. There's the station. We need to put a fair bit of brake on now. So there looks like there was a second track and a second platform at some point, but the second track's been ripped out. The platform still remains though. So see the second platform there with no track. So it won't probably make up the time that we lost now. Let's see how fast this baby can go. So the speed limit is 60. I'm just going to keep the power fully open and we'll see how fast it actually can go. We do have a station in about 1.5 kilometres, so we might not get it to anywhere near the maximum speed in that time. It can actually get up to speed pretty quickly, which is good. Sounds pretty good. Station coming in the distance. You know, realistically, on a line like this, there might be a train every hour, every 2 hours. You know, once a day, twice a day. Wouldn't be a you know, or mainly to do with the school kid peak, possibly. I do remember reading the story about a line in Japan that was very, very remote, and they kept the line open because there was a schoolgirl that was using that particular line to go to and from school, and so they had the trains matched up with her schedule of the school she was going to. And then when she left the school and, you know, graduated from high school, she was the only person using the train, and so when she left school they actually closed the line. Whereas in a lot of other countries, they would have closed the line long ago and just made some alternative arrangements. So 2.5 kilometres. I think this is actually our last station coming up. I could be wrong. I haven't seen any points that I've had to manually set yet. So you really got to plan your powering and your braking so you stay under the speed limit. And a lot of that comes down to your knowledge of your train and your knowledge of the route, which obviously I don't have in this situation. We do have some signals coming up, so we might be ending the single line section. It is in just about a kilometre's time. I've got no idea, because we are on a single line section at the moment. We don't need signals until the end of the single line section, in theory. So that green light's just come on the left-hand side of the display in front of us. So I've got no idea what that means. I know what that is. That's the emergency brake. And we're on a level crossing, which doesn't help. So we must have a restricted signal against us coming up. So I wonder if I zoom in. Now this is the light that I was talking about. That light there on the left of that display, just underneath the 0. The green light there. Obviously I don't know what it means, but I can just see, I just saw the red signal come into view, so that's probably warning me of that red signal. Okay, there's another train at the station. Now I've probably got to acknowledge something at this point. That's emergency brake. Oh, I thought that I did it properly that time. Stop. Rightio. Quiet. Now, says on there that we have to press 9. And so where are we? Okay, so that's us. So we need, oh, okay, so we press that. So we can go on the map and we can change the junction, which I think we just did. So if we press 9 again. Did we do it? Oops. Yes, we did it. We just manually changed our first set of points. And that was just by trial and error. I didn't know how to do that. So, oh, be quiet. Just need to go up a little bit further so I can drop our passengers off. Now, I haven't watched any videos or done any reading because, you know, there are probably ways that I can approach a signal at stop without having to go into emergency brake. There probably is a way to do that, but I don't know. Hang on, we'll... Hello, Japanese man. There's another Japanese man. Hello! That's a pretty good, cool screenshot, actually. Scenario incomplete. Please come back and try the scenario again. How is it incomplete? I don't know how it's incomplete. Yeah, I don't know how it was incomplete, but... Oh, missed stop. Hey, hang on. Does it say that I actually went back and corrected that? No, of course it doesn't. How many points did I lose for missing a stop? Oh, 100 points. And then that just kept on going on with timeliness penalties and whatnot. But that was... That was an interesting one. Might have to do some more reading before I try that again, so I actually know what I'm doing in relation to automatic train protection and whatnot. Anywho, I've been Simulator Dirk, you've been wonderful, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.